Let us continue.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
AKA, he is a bastard after all. Just take your time, why don't you?
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Hold? What is that?
Heading back.
Oh,
Hey,
that
ma'am?
commands.
Talk? Sorry.
I didn't know I chose
Can we talk?
female.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me.
No, the
It's
game's
just-
on hard, I do.
Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Really? No! This is about the deserters, so what's the other side of it? Figures. Reed didn't exactly strike me as the most honest soul. What he says seems pretty straightforward to me. I do with nuance, I want to be this heavily armed. Let's move. Let's hear the other side of it.
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
Before all that, can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues. Well, how do you know the deserters? You worked with them. You were friends or what?
Miss McDevitt. Oh,
Did you know Adelaide?
no. She was a real important person. A flavorist.
Oh, wow.
Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson.
Whoa.
Alls I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place.
You can't leave it at that. Why were Reed and Adelaide arguing? How well do you know the deserters? Very fine people, so what?
Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound carried, but not the words. If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt, if he can get out to her.
What I missed was doing laundry, boys. Reed sent us to the labs. We're going to the geothermal plant to kill these deserters before they unionize. How well did you know the deserters? You worked with them. I don't blame anybody. Can't leave it at that. I'm sure the deserters are very fine people. How'd you know them?
I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk.
Oh, you like
Get
Top
my
Hat?
head
You
down.
would, Kish.
There
You
was a boy
would.
named Thomas who used to follow me around,
You looked
asking
cool.
questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident.
Sure, the deserters are very fine people, so what?
Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. It don't seem right to me, ma'am. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Town Vicar, I suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by. What do we need to talk to Vicar about? Flipping a switch in your power mill?
About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin.
Ken!
And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help.
Is this gonna
Just
be
an
a
idea.
peaceful resolution?
That's all.
We don't want no peaceful resolution. We'll stop by.
Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Before he died, became a nasty deserter and we had to slaughter him. Come, Parvati. Come. Are you the town vicar? Cannery worker. See, you're a good boy. You're not a deserter like the rest. Vending machines. Vending machines offer a variety of items to purchase, mostly from one company. A hack skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. What is our hack skill, I wonder? There's a lot of stuff in here. Magnum. Ranged weapon mod magazine. How much is that? We have 600 credits, really? Oh no, we got 52 bits. The song. Yeah, the cannery's a pretty depressing place. Okay, journal. Now comes the power. The long tomorrow, fistful of digits, stranger in a strange land. Deliver Reed's message. Reed asks you to deliver a message to Adelaide and her deserters. Optional, speak to the Viceroy. Set this to active. Now, I would like to prioritize speaking to the Viceroy first. There we go. Do you also owe a debt? Because
it's too clean.
is this where the scienticians do the thing?
Yes, what is it?
Have you heard of the High Elves?
Cider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or
De Soto.
Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
Quickest way out of town. What does this guy do again? If I had to choose any post-apocalyptic setting, what would it be? I Am Legend, and I get to be Will Smith. How about you, Kish? I get to be Will Smith before he got crazy and depressed. He's just driving the Mustang around New York. So I rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling. The season's toss balls prediction. The quickest way to town. The Walking Dead. What sort of spiritual choice advice do you offer here?
They who are not satisfied with their work are satisfied with nothing. No. How about, work fortifies the spirit. True exhaustion awaits idle hands.
That's right. It's the Protestant Methodist work ethic. I was actually asking what your religion was all about.
The OSI teaches that the Grand Architect set a perfect system in motion at the beginning of time. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in that grand plan.
The nighttime in I Am Legend would be scary. So long as you're in the bathtub and they don't know where you live, you'll be okay, though. The book's even better than the movie, honestly. I just remembered how scary that was. And they'd be in the bathtub. Yeah, that's true. In the book, though, they don't want to kill him because he's the last person they can try to drink the blood out of, so they never actually like break into his house. Because they don't want to kill him, so they can't just burn it down and tumble it down. They want to bring him outside. Walking Dead is easy survival. I don't know how the government fell to slow-moving shit. Incompetence, that's the idea. Re-World War Z. They were trying to use weapons that didn't work against the undead. They weren't prepared to hit headshots like that. Plus, I mean, totally they would fall, Raphael. It's the perfect virus. The people they kill get up and kill. They stay infected. They infect everyone. Everyone that dies gets up and kills. So numbers, incompetence, total chaos. We totally would fall to slow zombies. It's the most perfect killing virus ever. The USI teaches the Grand Architect set a perfect system in motion at the beginning of time. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in that grand plan. What does OSI stand for?
The Order of Scientific Inquiry, also known as scientism to the layperson.
Scientism. Okay, so this is the Church of Scientism. How do you talk to this Grand Architect?
You don't talk to the Grand Architect. Once the universe was set in motion,
I mentioned the book, World War Z.
It has no concern for us.
It goes through it. Why things failed. We mentioned that great battle, the Battle of the Yonkers. That's how they just... Max Brooks describes it dying. Kids read the shit of the Zombie Survival Guide. That's a good one. And the book, World War Z. No, fuck the movie. Doesn't sound like a very motivational religious philosophy. What's there aspire to? So what's your part in all this besides counseling people? Pretty weak religion you got there. Follow a preordained plan. Sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, they're Calvinists. That sounds like a very motivational... So what's your part in all this?
We will eventually decode the plan and all its intricacies. Once we are
It's the
able
cult
to
of the
deduce
strike.
the properties of every particle in the
I have
universe
autism,
and
so
its
maybe they'd avoid
trajectory,
me.
we will know everything. The future, the past, each person's place within the plan, all will be laid out before us, removing struggle and bringing peace. No one will ever need question their path again. Some even believe this ultimate knowledge will unlock mankind's true potential, and we will all become akin to grand architects ourselves, after a fashion.
The zombie hordes are kind of unique, that's true, but the movie's a mess. The script is all over the place, and some even believe this ultimate knowledge will unlock mankind's true potential, and we will all become akin to grand architects ourselves after a fashion. Really, how does that work? Tell me more.
Well, first there's the matter of the secret blood rites and animal sacrifices. I'm kidding.
Ah,
Seriously, though, to truly understand the metaphysics involved takes years of study and contemplation.
right. So you are the purveyors of truth, and only you can read the truth and understand the truth. Anyway, Parvati, I want to talk to you about the read, what a read asks us to
What?
do.
I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away.
Slink away.
I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you
Mad
to
Max.
do?
That's a good answer, Kish. I mean, badass cars, so you'd be Guitar Man. That's a good answer. Like a food and water in the desert. I mean, no matter what you're doing, you're talking about the post-apocalypse. Pocahontas post-apocalypse there, Raphael, so you're gonna have to take the good with the bad. Walking Dead is hella easy since the walkers are dumb slow, walking shit that can easily be tricked. Yeah, until you get your face ripped off. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Got power to the deserters. If you could answer quickly, we're in a hurry.
I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
What do you think of Adelaide's group, Viceroy?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Yeah, tell that to the characters. Exactly, Bright Shadow. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Depends on how well the leader can provide beyond your walls.
Astute. But I am here, not in the deserter camp. So that's not a variable I can account for.
Right, great. So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
I think I'm going to convince them to unionize, lead a rebellion, kill everyone in their path, and then we'll do this whole thing in reverse, because meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Most of the times it's good they died, but so many deaths could have easily been prevented. I think that's the point. Just like the Rona. Hey, isolate yourself for 2 months and don't get around anybody sick. Easier said than done. What level do I need to craft plot armor? What is plot armor? Easily get bitten by a weak-ass nutty zombie even though you're a 240-pound man. Yeah, man, the ones that just sit in the corners and wait, the ankle biters. Dream goes to save as many as you would do. Even possible, right? Just talk to everybody to come together. Keep that in mind. Sounds like I've got a bit of work out here. Thank you for your time. Right, just talk to everybody to come together. I'll keep that in mind.
If it were as easy as a few soothing words in the right ears, I'm sure it would have been done already. Consider it a challenge. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
And why is that?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
If you're a man of color, don't expect to live long. I mean, Michonne's still alive. Isn't one of the leaders of the big groups? Like the people who live in the trash heap, and the guy uses the Kunda stick. Isn't he black? Yeah, T-Dog, but I think there's like 4 or 5 black characters on there that are like leaders right now. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. Yeah, Morgan, right? Wait, Morgan died? The guy with the Kundu stick? How did he die? My retrieval efforts have been thwarted a handsome sum, you say? Tell me more. Why would a Viceroy be after a banned heretical book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public
So
consumption.
basically, these are this guy's the scienticians are the Catholic Church of. Really, actually, out of Hyperion, the book series, the excellent sci-fi series Hyperion. You have to get to Emderian, and the Catholic Church runs all of the different star systems again, and they're just exactly like this. Except it's a little bit more deeper. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. I wanted it for such a fun book. Yeah. Seems to me the authorities would be interested to hear you after this contraband text. I'll need to know a little bit more about the book before I can agree to this. Maybe I'll get your book and sell it to somebody else.
I can assure you, you won't find another willing to risk imprisonment to possess this book.
It's the priest,
nor
I'm pretty
anyone
sure.
willing to pay the price I can offer.
They left him for dead like they did his career in real life. So he died in Fear the Walking Dead. I can assure you won't find You're after this contraband text.
On the contrary, my position means that I am one of the few legally allowed to possess such items. But do not worry. You'll be safe since you are acting on my behalf.
Oh, he blackmailed us through our blackmail. I'm sure, but I've got to be going. You make a compelling argument.
Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal. A faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner.
Kunu.
I'll mark where I
Bakono.
saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious?
I need to know a little bit more about the book.
It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand
thinketh.
its true value, should they ever read it.
This guy's real snotty. I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
We've got all kinds of missions going on. We're gonna make mad bits. We gotta level up our man search for meaning logotherapy. Let's go. Oh, Parvati's also got a health bar. Hey, before we leave, shouldn't we just... I guess we technically haven't collected Conrad. Conrad says he can't afford to pay his fees. Might be worth mentioning this to Silas. If you found a note from Silas to Conrad, perhaps you could use information from him to convince Conrad to pay his gravesite fees. If you found a note from Phyllis to Conrad, I'm gonna go ahead and set this to active before we go outside the walls and Conrad, Phyllis. So we should go talk to Phyllis.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
Maybe we can wrap this up before we head deeper into the town. Or into the jungle or wherever the hell it is we're going next. Those two notes on the guitar, though.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy.
I'm not a worker. I'm a fucking hired gun. Gravesite fees. I'm here to collect.
Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment.
Expect the Walking Dead season, farm season, best season. Don't forget when he says, Carl, 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 Carl. Tell us still on about that. Those papers aren't signed in your name.
Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill.
You have to pay for your neighbor's gravesite fees?
If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me.
The neighbor.
Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
The Punisher. They canceled the Punisher. So the guy shot himself?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable.
It's an awful thing to say. It must be tough losing family.
Eugene wasn't family.
Closest living relative. That's an awful thing to say about your closest relative.
Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who
Nice.
found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
This is less a comedy on corporations and more like what the Catholic Church was like before the Protestant Revolution. Suicide gets you to hell. You gotta do pilgrimages. You gotta pay tithes. You gotta pay to see relics. You have to You have to tell them all of your sins so they know all of your private information. They're the only ones who are allowed to translate text. They still make money from the show 7 after they leave, so why work? For the craft of acting. Irreparable damage to company property, what Eugene did. Can't be serious. What are they gonna do? Arrest his corpse? Vandalism, huh? Did you have to clean bits of him off the wall or something? Arrest his corpse?
When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice.
What if you didn't? This Eugene guy sounds like he was more trouble than he's worth.
Look around. Edgewater ain't exactly swimming in luxury. We can't afford to pay the body price of a suicide. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear.
This is the body
I'm
that's
just
in
glad there was no ugly
Conrad's
affair behind me.
org.
Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
I would definitely say Rick's a millionaire. And probably Michonne too. Maybe even Carl! Let's go talk to Conrad again. I don't know if we got out. I don't know if we got what we needed out of there. Probably should have took some more of the scathing asshole answers, but Spacer's Choice Katana. Or Cantina.
I don't know you.
She's just a common lie. Alexander Hawthorne, Captain of the Unreliable.
Uh-huh. The Unreliable, you say? Never heard of any company supply ship with that particular name.
It's lucky.
I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hardworking company folk here.
Yeah, but it probably cost at least $1 million to make an episode. They definitely have a nice big budget. This game is giving me conversation simulator vibes. I think we'll be shooting stuff soon. I think it's only to be seen as Rick most of the time. Well, considering he's going to get 3 movies. Some big movies. Usually a big bad mofo you don't want to mess with. And he plays that role well, shot caller. Is he the one who takes over the gang or the one who gets killed? Carl's acting career is probably done. I don't know, he's pretty young. Something going on here that I should know about?
Am I that easy to read? Yeah. We've been having some problems lately. Loyalty
Good change of
issues,
pace. I don't
lines
get
in
out
the
much.
sand.
Good answer,
I
Butt
know
Nut.
where folk in Edgewater stand. But you, I don't know you. If you're gonna have a drink, I'd like to ask that you do it within the premises. Can't have you taking drinks over to those deserters.
Yeah, Reed mentioned those deserters.
Traitors. The lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's
Especially if they
already
grew up on
struggling
one
to make
thing.
quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you?
There's been a few that have made it. That little boy on the Andy Griffith show, of course he became a director. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was a child actress. Drink, just felt like chatting.
Go ahead.
What's your story?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Persuade 21. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just curious.
You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share.
Well,
My
how'd you get
family's
up on a
worked
planet
Spacer's
far,
Choice for
far,
2
far from
generations, and
home?
I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time.
That thinking of Zack and
Believe
Cody?
it.
I've never even heard of Zack and
Also
Cody
all
Raphael.
fancy. Glad I
At a Disney
disabused
show?
myself.
I work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? It was a wild fancy. That I disabused myself. Took care of you. You've been scrubbing dishes all your life? So you had a dream of being a scientist. What happened?
What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming? I woke up. I just didn't have the
She's got a
brains for
young
it.
face but gray in
Asked
her
too many
hair.
questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live.
According
Now
to the
that I'm behind a
scienticians.
bar, I can
I'm
ask
gonna
all
miss
the
that
questions I
abomination
want.
called Riverdale.
Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing Zero G?
Come join the ship, the Unreliable, Amelia Kim. We'll take you on. Half man. He hasn't been in anything else. Well, he's like 17. He's not 93. He could still live. He could still be in tons of movies. Damn it, refuting Rafi. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions. So what important ones? Science 5. That's the question. Foundation of science. The best scientists ask too many.
Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head. Lab work ain't for me. Never was.
Come join the
Never will be.
deserters. We're gonna unionize
Spacer's
and
Choice put me where I belong.
burn this
and for
mother to
that,
the
I am
ground.
grateful.
Sounds like Spacer's Choice took care of you.
They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong.
Gave you a choiceless destiny. You've been scrubbing dishes all your life.
What's wrong with that? It's good, honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either.
We can fly to other
Unless
planets.
you're
I
in
gotta
Byzantium.
imagine we're making.
I hear everything's automated there. Not that I'll ever find out.
The Psycho, or am I thinking about a different show? It's based on the Archie comics. Riverdale is? I know how cringe it is watching them trying to promote it. It's amazing. Riverdale, I'm gonna have to watch. He's a streamer, actually. The kid from 2.5 Men is a streamer on Twitch? Really? For the story.
Not so fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours. So, what's your story?
Oh, Carl? Carl's a streamer? He appeared on... I know he appeared on, like, a stream, but he's actually a streamer. Oh, she like you. He's just got a special feeling. Still trying to figure that out myself.
What's there to figure out? Stands to reason you work for a company. You ain't Spacer's Choice. Could be you're with Auntie Cleo.
That's right, I'm a Cleo worker. There's more to life than the company you work for.
That's exactly the kind of crazy talk that comes from an overabundance of sobriety. Well, good luck trying to figure yourself out.
Guess I should have
Sounds
lied.
like you'll need it.
Chair handler? He's literally streaming as we speak. Holy shit. Wow. That's so fucking strange. Good luck trying to figure yourself out. Sounds like you'll need it. I told you I got shot into space by a crazy scientist.
Ugh, is this the start of a joke? If you want me to laugh at your jokes, it's a 3-drink minimum.
I wish it was a joke. Honestly, I don't even know where I am.
Most folk forget where they're standing after a few drinks. Seems to me you've got a head
Streams
start.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Anyhow, whatever happens outside the walls is not my business.
This is
Only
so
deserters
strange.
and marauders wander out there, and I cannot tell you which I revile more. My world is these 4 walls, that door, and a row of mugs that need cleaning.
Someone who didn't want to talk, she sure has a lot to say. It's almost like you're afraid to go outside. Hey, I know that feel.
Let me make something clear. Spacer's Choice has been real good to me. The town's been real good to me. I start gallivanting around outside the walls, poking around in places I shouldn't be, learning things I've got no right to know. People will talk.
Sometimes,
Won't ever catch me.
sometimes,
asking about the world
Amelia,
outside.
your comfort
Else
zone
the town's gonna
is
say,
actually your
"Amelia's
prison.
gone soft. That Amelia's pondering desertion." I don't want that.
Amelia, join me on the unreliable and leave your comfort zone. Find out that this life of drudgery that you think is a life of comfort has been a jail and a death sentence. Living your life on everyone else's terms. I suppose we've all got our jobs. I imagine you want to get out of town, what with the plague and all. I think it's a mistake living your life on everyone else's terms.
There you go with that thinking again. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's dangerous?
Love how no one's ordering a drink.
I've said enough. People come here to drink their problems away. If they
I'll
wanted
spam
to face their
Carl.
problems, they'd go see our vicar.
So what's your story?
I've talked enough about my past.
Damn. We should have mentioned the plague. I was wondering if you knew anything about the Hope.
The Hope? No, I've never mixed a drink by that name. I could get you a rum and something.
He's
if you
also got a
like.
SoundCloud.
Wait, no, never mind. We're all out of something.
I'm not talking about a drink. I'm from Hope myself.
You feeling a bit flushed? Look, why don't you go set yourself down in the corner before you get all tangle-footed?
Oh, we got his rap going. Oh, yeah. He makes some chill beats. You feeling a bit flushed? How old is he? Look, why don't you set yourself down in the corner before you get all tanglefoot? I'm not drunk. I just want to know if anybody else has made it off the Hope. The Hope's out there somewhere with hundreds of thousands of other colonists.
Would you keep your voice down? You're gonna get the whole cantina written up. The Hope's folklore,
Carl!
right?
It's definitely weird since I grew up watching him as a kid.
70-year-old
Now he's like,
folklore
he's
by
17.
now.
Oh, he's young.
The board don't approve of spreading seditious rumors.
Young
and
and rich and
falsehoods.
streaming on Twitch.
You're inviting trouble talking that way, and I don't want a part of it.
Don't you want to explore your scientific mind? You sound scared.
Look, either shut your gob or stick a drink in it. We're done talking about this.
Whatever, give me a drink.
Coming right up.
Merchant skill. Your merchant skill is equal to the value of the best dialogue skill, and is used to negotiate prices when buying and selling from vendors. Okay, that's cool. 2% discount. Well, I think we probably could have got more out of that than what we
I'd
got.
cut my own hair. But Conrad sells real good disinfectant.
What can I do for you?
Persuade. I know about Eugene. Why not use his teeth as collateral for your gravesite fees? Medical 10. You sound like you've had some training. I know a thing or two about medicine. Let's try this one first.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor?
Well, I'm a doctor, you're a barber. Only we use the term doctor loosely. So you prepare corpses for burial. Pretty specific job description. I'm guessing you were trained out of medical school.
Experience was my teacher. Experience and...
She wants the
So, you want to be an
D-R-I-N-K,
embalmer.
yes.
Brochures 1 through 5. Courtesy of the Spacer's Choice Department of Career Development.
I know about Eugene. Choose his teeth as collateral.
You know about Eugene? How?
I found a note from Phyllis. I'm a mind reader. None of your business.
You probably heard it from one of our local gossip mongers. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He
Anyways.
took them to his grave.
I was just looking at Carl! Eugene's golden teeth were... Man, that's so strange. 300 viewers there on Twitch. Representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. They were probably worth a few bits.
More than a few. Those teeth were his personal savings.
Oh, he's 20. Oh, excuse
I
me.
can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I?
Are you asking rhetorically? Because if you're being serious... Ugh, gross.
Desperate measures, Miss Holcomb. Desperate measures. I'm going to have to ask Silas to dig up those teeth. It's the only way I'm paying my gravesite fees.
I don't care. I'm just here to collect your dues.
Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
Told Eugene killed himself. What happened?
Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality. I was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects.
Same age as Carl.
Paranoia drove him to
You
take
guys
his
could
own
become the
life.
best friends. And then Rick will adopt you. And you can fight off zombies. And have your name called. So the town never had to pay a penalty.
We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect.
And I hope so. It's gonna
I
happen.
included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Goodbye. Hey, that leveled us up. Sweet. I think we definitely want to go dialogue. Clearly there's going to be a hell of a lot of talking here. Isn't it like, after 50 you can specialize adding points? Okay. Yeah, definitely dialogue. I should have put more in that to begin with. Go 3 here, and we'll go sneak. 79.2% NPC awareness decay rate. 0% sneak attack damage. I'm just going to put a 1 on that. And I'm going to go range 2. And then perks. Perk is every other level, so... We still have to collect one more, don't we? Collect Ludwig's gravesite fees. Ludwig is one of the 4 people saw this thing to collect from. He's stationed as a guard on the landing pad southeast of Edgewater. Okay. One more guy. Let's go to the Vale region. The Earth Directorate was formed after the Great War to arbitrate international and intercorporate disputes. Man was an actor just to build his dream PC. 400 IQ move. That's gish. Man. Top tier specs though. What, on his PC? Maybe I can save everyone from the very dumb walkers. Honestly, like somehow infinite bullets at random times, but the most necessary times they only got 20 between the 10 of them. Raphael's doing it. He's calling out the Walking Dead writers. You better make your appointment with a lawyer, an attorney, and your favorite critic, because Raphael's coming for you. Double rainbow. Should have gone repair. Sprint speed was a nice little quality of life thing, but I shouldn't have done it.
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every Sunday noon. Now they only come but once a month. Where are we headed?
You mentioned something earlier. I wanted to ask you about
mean
it.
about the mission being too clean?
In the bar, you asked if I was a drinker.
Sorry. I know, it's none of my business.
I like a drink now and again. I'm gonna guess you're not a drinker yourself.
Strong drink makes me sick. And it makes me real sad. I start thinking about things I oughtn't, and then...
Feeding
Well,
Ruffy
never
smashed
mind.
into battle. What's Carl's
You
Twitch?
got better things to think.
I literally just looked up
Sorry.
Carl Walking Dead Twitch, and it was immediately on his thing. Got better things to think on. Sorry. If you don't want to talk about it, I'm happy to listen. I'm gonna say, don't apologize.
Oh, that's what I do. You'll tire of it soon enough.
You said the mission was too clean. Isn't a church supposed to be?
I know, but Vicker says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches.
No, but bug me a Discord and I'll
warnings.
add it, Raphael.
You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicker sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass.
You're a mechanic. Whenever you see a machine, it's in need of fixing. It's an ideal. Not that we live in, but what we strive for. Then why'd you want to talk to him? Never been much for religion myself.
The vicar's about the only soul in the Vale who spends his time thinking on what is and ain't right. It's just that when he looks at me, I feel I'd disappoint him.
That's in his rules. Don't even think about yelling Coral. That's funny. It's just that when he looks at me, I feel I disappoint him. Let's get back to it. So she asks too many questions. He just wants obedience. Ah!
Law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff.
Anyway, gravesite fees.
I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling.
That's a face. Are you okay? You seem confused.
I'm talking about mechanical soldiers.
At least his teeth moves.
Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies.
Get banned for that clout. Should I get banned for that clout with the Coral? Hello, Coral, says Bright Shadow. It's a demon! 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 Yeah, you gotta watch out for those mechanicals.
That's right. That's what I've been saying.
That's right.
We gotta square our shoulders.
Imagine.
And stand ever vigilant.
If you can make a human the size of a skull,
Mechanical.
squish them and build a pyramid upon.
Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence.
Oh,
I seen them over by the old power plant. Clattering about.
clattering,
Firing at the bird.
firing,
Orchestrating.
orchestrating.
When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or
Any
standing
actors stream?
shoulder to shoulder with the resistance?
I think that Terry Crews streams. Now, wanting to be called a character you don't play anymore. I'd understand not wanting to be called a character you don't play anymore. You don't think he's proud of that role? Probably made a lot of money. Probably did well. He does. Yeah. Pretty sure. Look it up. Terry Crews and like Rampage Jackson also streams. When the swarms of mechanicals come, briefly that one porn star streamed. Where will you be? Cowering beneath your calf. Your resistance needs another gun. I am for hire.
I've been gathering up a war chest over the years. Saltuna cans, mostly. Some Spacer's Chaw. Few bit cards. I'll reward you for your aid.
Picking up all kinds of odd jobs. Persuade 5. Proper armies pay enlistment fees there, Ludwig.
Enlistment fees? Yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't want to give the resistance to
Sasha
that
Grey.
name.
I don't think she's made porn in a long time. Who played Road in Iron Man 1 Road? Road? Who's Road? Sasha Grey's a porn star. She's pretty hot. She doesn't make porn anymore, I don't think. Enlistment fees, yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't want to give the resistance a bad name. What do you need done?
They have sent a scout. Prowling around the
Yeah, you're a
junkyard
young
just
and
behind our
Raphael.
beloved town. This scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Cross it off, then report back.
Turn to its base of operations, cross it off, then report back. If I'm going after this mechanic, scout, I could use a couple pointers.
Mechanical's got a weak spot in their midsections. I think the technical term is, the
Season 1? There was an Iron Man show?
swerving.
Raphael? Lisa Ann streams It's Over. I don't know of Lisa Ann. Yeah, she was popular in like the early 2000s, Raphael. She's like your guys's, again, the other porn star that streamed for a while, but now she's gone. She would always play like, you know, like the Arab girl. She was that fetish. I've got a question for you.
Go on.
Alinity? No, Alinity's never done porn. Yeah, Mia Khalifa. Kisha's got it. What do you have against the mechanicals?
You ever seen the way a mechanical just stands there? Just looking at you. Scanning you with its murderous oculars.
How do we get on the porn star conversation while talking to Lucifer? You see what he does? You see how idle hands are the devil's playground? We start having a conversation with Satan. The next thing you know, we're talking about Mia Khalifa. Who I think is also the name of a rapper, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. Yeah, it is pretty creepy.
Mechanicals have been programmed to eliminate the human race.
That's
They've
what's
been
up, though.
programmed to replace us.
Sorry, Jeebus.
First, they will rob us of our jobs. And once they have taken away our livelihoods, they will take away our very lives.
I'll let you be. Goodbye, Lucifer. So, we're just gonna kill these robots that are meant to stand around and guard things, I guess? I like Ludwig better. That's Wiz, my friends. Oh yeah, Wiz Khalifa. Whatever happened to him? I'm pretty sure Pokimane is just a living lawsuit producer at this point.
Hey, Miss Parvati. Come for a visit?
Not today. Just helping this lady.
I could have swore we chose male. Did we not? Oh, fuck it. I guess I'm just gonna have my gender assumed. And guess what? I'm not gonna freak out about it.
Lovely to see you about, Miss Parvati.
Things going all right, Silas?
I'll hurt inside, though.
Keeping him careful and true, miss.
Every time you level up this game, it makes me feel like a demigod. Bro, that's obviously not a male. You think so? I don't know about that. Keeping him careful and true, miss. What are you talking about, Silas?
Best to ask her yourself.
My dad's buried here. Silas watches over him when I can't leave the house.
It's none of my business. I'll tell her I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, thanks.
Sometimes it's tough to be full
Something
evil.
I can do for you?
We're hard, but we've got a heart. We're strict, but we're fair. About those, we need to talk about Eugene.
Yeah? What about him?
Dig him up, you son of a bitch. You first. I know you buried him.
Well, yeah. It's what I'm contractually obligated to do. What's this about?
Solid gold teeth could be worth something if you pulled them out.
Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? And so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away. Vanished. The footprints nearby suggested
Spirited
that
away.
Eugene was stolen by marauders. Or he rose from the dead.
I'll keep an eye out for them, I guess.
Let me know if you find anything.
Pretty much saying that. In fact, I am saying that just so I can go ahead and give him those fees.
You run into any trouble?
All done. Paperwork, fees, and signatures.
Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to.
I went out of my way for you.
And I'll buy you a drink sometime.
Well, that didn't fucking do anything. Oh, I was hoping for something more tangible.
Oh, suppose you've earned it. One good turn deserves another.
Oh, damn. 300 bits. Oh, yeah. Looks like. You have lost Abernathy's gravesite fee. Okay. Abernathy was trying to hide his own illness. Wasn't I supposed to cover that up?
Yeah?
This town must be in pretty bad shape if it's keeping you employed. You lose a lot of people to marauders. Have you heard any news about Hope?
You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, brave in the wilds.
Wearing a 19th century mining hat at all times, even though you're able to get on interstellar voyages and colonize new worlds. You're not worried about falling sick?
Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose.
That was mean. At least
Our
he knows
body
how to
grows
counter.
accustomed.
Think that was mean? How long you been a junior in humor gravedigger, whatever?
Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one. All my life?
Always life.
Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem is the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay
Nah,
their
fuck
gravesite
that.
fees.
But yeah, fuck the drink. I want the bits. You lose a lot of people to Marauders.
Former people, yeah. Marauders been raiding my graves, you see. Hence the armed guards.
Right, because you think they're cannibals. It's just a bounty on Marauders. You and your guards can make a few bits.
No can do. This is my post, and I must defend it with my life. I heard you've been crossing off Marauders for Reyes, though. Good on you.
Thanks.